Nevertheless, oh yeah, did you hear about the Alec Baldwin trial has started? I think they already did opening arguments and so forth.
Yeah.
To anybody who's unfamiliar with the whole trial situation, I don't know if you, but you may remember, you may not. But anyway, Alec Baldwin was working on a film called Rust that was supposed to come out, I believe, this year.
Yeah.
And so anyway, why? In one of the scenes on the set, there was going to be a scene which he had to have a gun. And he was going to, I'm not sure exactly what he was going to, what type of scene it was, but nevertheless, there was a scene in which he was going to have to do some practice with a gun. And unfortunately, they used a real gun. And unfortunately, the gun turned out to be loaded. And so as he was aiming the gun around, practicing and so forth, the gun went off and it killed the young lady you see on the screen right there. Her name is
Helena Hustings, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So unfortunately, she's a cinematographer. She wound up getting killed on the set. And now Alec Baldwin is charged with manslaughter. So they actually started the opening arguments recently.
Just quick clarification. This is actually the second trial for this. So
second. Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah. So he actually was, because this happened back in 2021.
Gotcha.
So as soon as it happened, the husband was, furious, and the case was prosecuted. However, I believe for some reason, they dropped the charges for Alec. So the I forget the name of the person that handles the guns on set.
Yes. Armorer. I believe it's called the armorer.
Yeah. So that person, she actually ended up going to jail, because it is, at the end of the day, it is her job to make sure she.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
She ended up going to jail. For some reason, they dropped Baldwin's charges, but over the past year, they brought them up again. So this is actually the second trial, and it's for manslaughter. I think he can face up to 18 months in prison.
Yeah, I saw that. So I guess they. Of course, like I said, one of your loved ones died. You want them to have complete justice. So, of course, they came back with him and said, you're still partially responsible, because technically, even though it's a gun, it's not loaded. Everyone knows you don't point a gun, period, and it's at anybody. You don't know. So, I know it was mentioning things like he said he didn't check if the gun was loaded, because I guess he just assumed that the armorer had checked everything and it was loaded and all that. And since I guess they wanted to be realistic in the film, they didn't want it to be like a fake rubber gun. Not sure, because they have a lot of props to look real. I mean, I don't think anybody would have noticed, but I guess he wanted to feel like get really into his role and have a real gun and so forth. So supposedly, as the judge was saying, he was playing with a real gun, pointing at people and so forth. And unfortunately, went off on her. Now, the thing that's so weird about this is, if somebody was going to get shot, I would think it would be like another actor or something. You're on the scene. Let's say you have a scene in which you're robbing somebody, you're pointing it. This is a cinematographer. She's behind the camera. So why are you pointing the gun at her? It just sounds so.
So let me tell you why. So they were actually, in film, they do different shots. So they were actually, I guess, trying to get a close-up shot of him with the gun.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. So he actually was pointing it at the camera, and I'm assuming she happened to, she's a cinematographer, so she was behind the camera.
Oh, I got you. So she put that camera on him. He was pointing, trying to take a cool scene. Yeah, it was like James Bond or something.
So I guess my question to you, Mike, is what do you think he should go to jail for this? Was it an accident? Well, I think we can all agree it was an accident.
Yeah, exactly. It was an accident.
That's not the question. The question is, should he be responsible for the accident? My 2 cents, I would say yes. And it's a gun. Like if you're holding a gun in your hand, it's your responsibility to know if it's loaded or not.
No, I agree.
Yes, it's the armorer's responsibility, of course. First of all, it shouldn't even have been loaded. One.
Exactly.
The assistant director, when he handed the gun to Alec, I believe he said cold gun, and cold gun means it's empty.
Yes.
And I think the assistant director also didn't check.
Yeah.
So again, but at the end of the day, again, if I was an actor and I have this, weapon that could harm someone fatally, I am going to do my due diligence to make sure that it's not real.
No, I agree. And then just like you said, the other piece of the puzzle is, technically you were pulling the trigger too.
Right.
So it's like, it's not like you just held the gun up and it went off. And it's like, it went like, to some degree, you're flicking the gun around, you're shooting it, and then it goes off. So you're still somewhat at fault. And then again, someone died. So I just feel like maybe, I feel like he shouldn't maybe go to jail, but there should be some huge penalty, like a whole lot of law, like a big lawsuit or something.
So my thing is, he's doing the wrong defense. His defense, which is crazy because this is what he said last time, is he's saying, him and his lawyer are saying that he never pulled the trigger. It just automatically went off.
I saw that. So I saw that.
But it was tested. Like they tested the weapon and they said, no, this gun it works just fine. For the bullet to come out, a human has to pull the trigger. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, that's what happened.
He's trying to dodge responsibilities. Obviously, I'm sure he's like, I don't want to go to jail for 18 months. So he's just trying to, I mean, but like I said, insulting people's intelligence, like, I didn't pull the trigger. I didn't know this was going on. It's like, we all know you knew this. So I just think, like, kind of like you said, he didn't intend to do it. Manslaughter to me is like if me, you get in an argument with somebody, you do something crazy, like maybe you pick up a bottle, you hit the person, they die or something like that. That's like manslaughter because it was some aggression. Here, I wouldn't even say it's aggression. It was just he was being.
I'm not a lawyer. I always thought manslaughter was more. It was an accident. It was
exactly. But
that was due to your negligence.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's true. I agree. So that's why it technically can fall on that, but it's just a matter of like generally, like whenever I've seen people get like that charge, it's usually like they're in a heated argument, they weren't thinking, like maybe they just have to have something in their hand, they hit the person passed away. So technically, like you're correct in this instance, it was like, on his end, he should have did more checks. So it's still it's kind of like how can I explain? Like maybe you're in a car, you're driving, you're like texting or something, you look up, you wind up hitting the person dies. You didn't really mean to kill them, but still on your part, you weren't, you weren't being responsible. So unfortunately, you still gotta pay, that penalty. Just like in this case, you still gotta pay that penalty. I just think that with his lawyers and so forth, it's just gonna be it's gonna be like a heavy lawsuit. That's what I think is gonna happen.
I think they already sued him and they won. So like the civil is done now and we're doing criminal. And I think again, he should be happy it's only 18 months. Like I
agree.
We should just take the plea deal. And I believe if he takes a plea deal, it'll probably even be less than 18 months.
No, I agree. And they'll probably even let him do like
community service,
home, was it home arrest? Like he could just do his time at home, or he might even go to like a rich people jail where he's not, playing tennis, everything else, but he's behind bars.
Martha Stewart jail.
Exactly. Something like that. So, I don't.
The prison.
I don't see him like doing a hard time there with I don't see that happening. But he like you say, he might be in danger actually having to maybe be on house arrest or something like that. So, we'll see. But
we'll see. Hopefully, it's a speedy trial. Like this happened 3 years ago. Let's just show the evidence, do closing arguments, and call it a day. So
I agree. We'll
see.
And everyone just anytime you have a gun, just
check to make sure it's not loaded.
Check to make sure that
I think that's the